We are Jay and Laura LaFone here to answer your questions about marriage and relationships or respond to your rants that you send us about marriage and relationships. Because today's viewer is kind of commentating. So I called it a rant, but maybe it's really just more commentating. But so this isn't really a question, but more a rant or food for thought. Consider how I can't say this word. Consider how frivolously. We speak for a living. We don't use this word. Frivolously and arrogantly. Frivolously. I got it. There we go. Consider how frivolously and arrogantly many of us flutter in and out of marriages. Like the union isn't any more significant than a part-time job at Applebee's. We like to pretend marriage is just a contract between consenting adults, which makes it about as significant as your lease agreement or the contract you sign with the guy who's remodeling your kitchen. But it's more than that. Those words I said to my wife when we stood on the altar, they meant something. This was a rant, food for thought that someone sent us in response to something that we say at our date nights and at some of our marriage workshops. And that is, think about what you actually said when you stood at the altar. You said, I do, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health until death do us part. That's really hard to do.
That's why we say murder, yes, divorce, no.
But I really do think that this gentleman's point is, you know, we do see it as we do see marriage as a contract, something we can just break, you know. Oh, I like what he says about it's just the union of marriage isn't any more significant than a part-time job at Applebee's. Oh, I've got this job, but ooh, there might be a better job over here or a better job over here. And that's the way we tend to view marriage in our culture.
And what we tell people is if you're struggling, because all marriages struggle, trust me, we've had our share of huge struggles. You've got three choices in our culture: remain miserable, solve the problem, or get divorced. Well, if you take out getting divorced as an option, you've got two choices: remain miserable or solve the problem. Well, then it becomes very easy what you're going to do. You're going to work with your spouse to solve the problem. And how people lie to themselves is this. They think that this person's the problem, and that if I get rid of this person, I can move on to another person.
Not this person, but your spouse.
Right.
I'm not the problem.
No, I am. But you can move on to another person who is going to be so much better for you. The problem is this. Problems in relationship aren't one-sided. So all that junk, and I'd use another word, but we're on public, all that junk that you brought to the marriage, you're going to bring to the next marriage. So deal with your own junk, solve the problems, and commit to this person that you stood at the altar and said, I do with.
And we'd really like to encourage you, as you watch this video, this TV show, ask your spouse, maybe have a conversation with your spouse at dinner or later tonight. What did it mean to us when we said those vows? For better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health, until death do us part. What did we actually think we were saying, and how have we lived this out in our marriage, and how maybe we could do a better job? Hey, we're Jay and Laura LaFone here to answer your questions about marriage and relationships. We'll see you next week.